Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Fola. If this is your first time stopping by, you're welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for stopping by again. I really appreciate it. It's been about 3.5 months since I officially became a permanent resident in Canada, and I decided to come on here and give you an update in my life, what has changed since becoming a permanent resident and what I'm looking forward to. If you're interested in knowing about this, stay tuned and we're gonna get right into the video.
When I walk into the kitchen, you saw the look on my face, you saw the look on my heart too.
So this video was kind of inspired by my mom, because when I became a permanent resident, she asked me and said, okay, Folake, what has changed? What is the difference between you having a work permit and having a permanent residence? What has really changed? And I just basically summed it up to her and said, I am just like a citizen, except that I cannot vote and be voted for. And if I should commit a crime that would require me to spend more than 6 months in jail, I can be deported and my permanent residency can be revoked. And in true fashion, she said,
you will not commit a crime in Jesus' name.
I'm like, Mom, amen, but I am just telling you I'm not gonna commit a crime, I know. But basically, that is the major difference between you being a permanent resident and you being a citizen in Canada. You get access to every freaking thing that a citizen has access to, except that you cannot vote and be voted for. And if you commit a crime, you might be deported. That aside, I'm gonna get into some personal details of what has changed in my life. Not a lot has changed. A lot of people think when you become a permanent resident, your whole life is gonna sweep around and everything is gonna change. Not really. In fact, somebody was like, so did they give you money now? And I'm like, excuse me, money? Why? But you get it. An example that comes to mind is when I was in Unilag, we had diploma students and we had students who came into intro jam, and some of our lecturers would say, oh, diploma students, you need to be careful because your name is still written in pencil. It's only UTME students that their names are written in biro. And it just comes to my mind because as a temporary resident in Canada, your study permit, work permit, all of that, it kind of feels like your name is written in pencil. They can literally erase it and say, bye babe, you don't qualify. But as a permanent resident, your name is written in permanent ink. You are a permanent resident. And this leads me to my first point. The major difference that I have felt being a temporary resident, as someone that was once on the study permit and then on the work permit, compared to me being a PR now, is peace of mind. Guys, I literally walk around with my shoulders high like this. I'm kidding. But the peace of mind that you feel and you get when you officially become a permanent resident in Canada, you can't buy it. And it makes sense because even just look at the name, temporary resident. They are literally telling you that you're temporary. If you mess up, if you don't do some things according to the way it's supposed to be, you can be bounced. Compared to you becoming a permanent resident, that's permanent. I literally can do anything I want to do right now with the peace of mind that, yes, baby girl, you're permanent in this country now, you're good to go. My second point is I have a new social insurance number. Yay! In case you don't know, as a temporary resident in Canada, you have a temporary social insurance number that starts with 9. And this means that you have to always renew your social insurance number. If your work permit or your study permit is expiring, you have to renew it. But now I have a permanent social insurance number that is always gonna be permanent, doesn't have an expiry date. Number 3 reason is still like a follow-up to number 2. Nothing expires anymore. Okay, that's not true. Some things expire, but it takes time. Like, there's a longer period before they expire. You don't have to constantly be on your toes knowing what is expiring anytime soon. An example I'm going to use is I recently renewed my health card. Previously, the first time I got my health card was in 2018 after I had spent 1 year in Nova Scotia, and the health card they gave me in 2018 expired in 2019. I renewed it again in 2019, and It expired in 2020, and that was in the middle of COVID. And I'm like, I'm not even gonna renew it again until I get my PR. So I noticed that it was just 1 year validity. Even though my work permit was expiring in 2022, this guy still decided to put 1 year on my health card. But this time around, after I got my PR, I sent my information to them to renew my health card. It came in the mail, and guess what? My health card expires in 4 or 5 years. That is what I'm talking about. There's a longer validity on a lot of things. Like, I don't have to be on my toes to know when my work permit is gonna expire. I don't have to be on my toes to know when my study permit is gonna expire, because I don't want to go out of status. As a permanent resident, you do not go out of status except you don't do the 2 out of 5 years that Canada has mandated you to do. With this one, almost everything has a longer validity on it. Some things don't even expire at all. That's another perk of being a permanent resident that I've enjoyed in Canada so far in the last 3 months. My number 4 point is that I can leave Canada at any point now and come in whenever I want to without a multiple entry visa. All I need is my PR card. Even though I am still waiting for my PR card, it's been 3 months, but I am still waiting. But then I've read that it's taking longer right now to get your PR card. But previously, I only had a postgraduate work permit. My multiple entry visa had expired, which meant that I cannot go out of Canada and come back in without renewing that visa. But right now, what is the multiple entry visit visa to Canada?
I don't know it. I don't know her. I don't know them. She, they, who.
But once I get my PR card, that's all I need to come into Canada. I don't need to renew anything. I can leave at any point and come back at any point. And this leads me to my next point, which is with my permanent residency, I can enter some countries visa free. I am Nigerian and I hold a Nigerian passport. If you don't know anything in the whole world, you have to know that the Nigerian passport is the weakest link. This passport can literally only carry me to Ghana, and I love Nigeria. But with the permanent residency that I have now in Canada, I can go to Jamaica visa free. I can go to a lot of countries. I'll try to see if I find that blog post if in case you're interested in it. Okay, so I just opened the website now where it shows the countries you can visit without a visa or visa on arrival with the Canadian PR, and there are 25 countries. There's Aruba, there's Costa Rica, there's Curacao, there's Dominican Republic, there's Honduras, Jamaica, Mexico, there's Guatemala, and some other countries that I can't even pronounce, which is very nice because, bro, I want to go to Jamaica, and you telling me that as soon as my PR card lands, I don't need the visa to go to Jamaica. It's making me so giddy right now. That's another perk that I look forward to exploring with my Canadian permanent residency. Another thing that I am currently enjoying right now as a permanent resident in Canada, which is kind of weird, but it's a personal enjoyment of mine, is that when I'm applying for jobs, there's usually 2 questions that always pops up. The first one is, are you a Canadian PR or citizen? And it's either a yes or no. And the second one is, if no, do you have a valid status in Canada? Do you hold a work permit or any of that stuff? That's the second question. First job application that I had to fill after getting my PR, it's a website that I previously applied for a job for, and so they had my previous information, and I was just going through it. And I saw that the first question that said, are you a Canadian PR or citizen? And I clicked on no. And the second one, I said yes, I had a work permit. And I just had to screenshot it and send it to my sister that, shit! Can you see that my story has changed? Now I have to do, are you a citizen or PR? I have to click on yes. And the second question becomes obsolete because it's none of my business right now. That's something that, even though it feels irrelevant, it kind of made me happy. Even sometimes in job applications, you will see that they say that they give priority to Canadians and PR, indigenous people and all of that. And like work permit holders and study permit holders are like on the bottom side of it. And the PR gives you more opportunities for jobs, because I know that some employers are very skeptical of employing people who are temporary residents in Canada because maybe they don't want to sponsor them, maybe they don't want to spend money training them and using them. I don't have any reason for that, and I don't think it makes sense, but who am I to judge on how to run your business? But as a permanent resident, it kind of gives you like that peace of mind I'm talking about. Like, yeah, I think I stand a chance getting this job, which is so good. And then following up to you having a permanent social insurance number, organizations don't ask you for work permit or proof of residency anymore. Once you fill in your details that, okay, this is my social insurance number, they don't bother asking you, okay, show proof. I know previously when I was a student, I was on work permit. Every job that I've done, they always require something. Okay, show me your work permit. Okay, show me your study permit. My social insurance number started with 9. But now they don't care. Once I put in my social insurance number, they just be like, okay, she's permanent. There's no need to ask for proof. Another thing that I like and that can happen in the future is if any of my siblings decide to move to Canada is I am able to give my siblings 15 points now for express entry. I don't think any of my siblings right now have interest in moving to Canada. But if any of them ever decide to move to Canada, I can toss them 15 points. You can have this. Enjoy it. But yeah, I can give them 15 points, which is very good. A lot of people need that 15 points. Yeah, I wish I could give it to anybody else that needed it desperately, but unfortunately I can't. I'll be able to only give it to my siblings. My final point today is something that I've explored a little bit, but I'm also looking forward to even go deeper into it and explore deeper into it. Initially, just like I said that as a permanent resident, you get almost everything that a citizen gets. And what I'm talking about is financial aid from the government, aids from the bank, a lot of things like line of credit. I know that usually banks like to give line of credits to only permanent residents, and I have actually explored that option and it is so good. So you have access to line of credits. I haven't gone deep into it, but I was reading that as a citizen or as a PR in Canada, if you want to buy a house, you can literally only put 5% down on a mortgage. While if you're a temporary resident, the bank would usually require you to put 20-25% down. A lot of good things that people are entitled to once they are permanent resident, like student loan, if you want to go back to school, student loan, student grants, and all of that nice stuff. Those are the things that I'm looking forward to exploring and taking advantage of if it suits my situation. These are the things that make me so happy to be permanent resident. In the short 3-month span of being a permanent resident, I have enjoyed quite a number of things. I have the flexibility to do anything that I want to do. I know on my work permit, they mentioned that you can't be a stripper, you can't work in a club. No, girl, if I want to strip, I will strip. I'm not gonna strip. But it just shows you that you have the flexibility to do anything that you want to do in Canada, which is so beautiful. I believe this is the goal for a lot of people planning to come to Canada, to become a permanent resident and take advantage of these opportunities that abound in this country. And 3 months in, I don't regret it one bit. I'm looking forward to do my first year as a PR, second year as a PR, and ultimately become a citizen of Canada. And I think that's all I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching it. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and leave a comment underneath this video. Hope this video inspires you to take your Canada journey very seriously. And I'll see you in my next video. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.